Yeah, the record takes my mind back to those times, RTBs, give thanks to the ghetto youth, But yeah, welcome to Full Access. My name is Reginald Amar, and today we're going to hone in on Ghanaian rap music, and we are going to actually talk about storytellers in terms of rap within the past decade. I had to scale it down to the past decade because if I slack and I do, I'm since the inception of rap music in Ghana, I go stress more because Killers Day, Comfort Kwade, Obrafo, Reggie, Rockstone, and a couple of people did. Killers really did. But within the past decade, we've had, when I say within the past decade, I'm actually talking from 2014 to 2024. We've had a plethora of rappers, right? A lot of them have come, a lot of them have gone. Plenty of them, their careers died. Plenty of them too, they've managed to stand the test of time. And these rappers, when you listen to them, you feel a certain type of way. You feel like they've literally held your hand and they are walking you through their lyrics, being it a single, being it an EP, or being it an album. And I really spent time on this editorial because, bro, pre-production, I was having phone calls with people, 40 minutes phone call conversations, trying to fully understand the whole scope of this, and we might even have a part two of this whole editorial because Charlie, it's not even enough. It's a whole different conversation altogether. We're not going to look at any other rappers other than Pure Akan, which is one, KWEKU, which is two, and then ultimately KWEKU Jesus or KWEKU Smoke, as you guys know him. Now I had to. It's actually a lot. But I had to scale it down to three things. Now, I'm going to take Pure Akan, for instance. I really got introduced to Pure Akan during lockdown when he released Nyamema. I hadn't listened to Onipa Kuma fully when he released it because I was having issues with the language and all of that. I understand Chi very well, but I couldn't really connect or relate to Pure Akan. But Nyamema was the one that did it for me. It really made me understand that, this guy gets something we not really get some for here in Ghana. And it was just a beautiful album. You listen to that album and then you feel yeah, Charlie, this guy actually walked me through a whole by the fireside type shit. You and then your grandparents, and then they actually telling you tales about way back in slavery, their ancestors and all of that. It felt very interesting. And we are going to look at these three people in terms of cohesiveness when it comes to their bodies of work, in terms of relatability when it comes to their bodies of work as well, and then in terms of ultimate skill, right? I mean, every rapper has skill. Pure Akan has skill. KWEKU also has skill, and then KWEKU Smoke also has skill. But I feel when it comes to cohesiveness, Pure Akan has that. And cohesiveness basically means when you're listening to your tape, track 1 ties into track 2 ties into track 3 ties into track 4, and goes. If it's a 10-track album, every song ties into the other. So if you listen, it make you feel oh yeah. Even if I no go fit understand track 5 without listening to track 4, that's basically it. And I'm gonna give it to Pure Akan because when you listen to Nyamema from start to finish, bro, I won't lie to you, that body of work is extremely amazing. I remember I wrote a review about it, and that's actually one of the best reviews I've written of a body of work because, bro, what Akan was doing on there, because I remember there was this time he even put out a tweet and I put my number out there and he called me and I was having a conversation with him. I was like, bro, how did you even get the fire flakes? You see when the lights fire and people are sitting by the fireside, because when you're listening to it, it gives you that feel when he was talking to the kids and all of that. I was even asking him, bro, in terms of production, how did you guys get all of these things in their instrumentation for it to feel so real? I'm sitting with my grandparents and then they're telling me stuff. KWEKU doesn't have cohesiveness in his the body of work that people bring him into the storytellers category, which is For My Brothers, because when you listen to For My Brothers, KWEKU was really telling stories. And For My Brothers, according to KWEKU, is based off of conversation he had with his dad. So For My Brothers is basically series of conversations KWEKU has had with his dad, and he said it multiple times on interviews and all of that. So if you need extra clarity, you can even revert back to those interviews. KWEKU doesn't have that cohesiveness when it comes to his body of work. And I remember yesterday I was having a conversation with someone and they were begging to differ on KWEKU having cohesiveness, and I was telling him that, bro, in terms of For My Brothers, if Kojo Q would have had that cohesiveness if he started the album with Muddy Story, and then Dia comes, and then Rich Dad Poor Dad comes, or Rich Dad Poor Dad comes before Dia, and then it follows like that, because Muddy Story is the where he's like he starts talking to his offspring, and then he tells him, yo, this be what your mommy they do, this be what your grandmommy they do, and all of that, and then like it trickles down where like the kiddie go grow, the kiddie go study work. That is where we're going to have like workaholics, anonymous, and all of that relationships, like that's Joe and all of that. Kojo Q would have had that if he arranged his body of work in that structure. And during the conversation, it felt as though Kojo Q recorded a lot of songs, and they sat down, A&R the body of work, which is, they did a very, very good job. But in terms of cohesiveness, they handpicked a couple of songs, or songs that will fit the theme of the album, which is not bad at all. But in terms of cohesiveness, Kojo Q is not going to have that. And also in terms of cohesiveness, I don't think KWEKU Smoke is going to have that as well, because KWEKU Smoke takes you on a trip. He's going to take you here, and then the next minute he says something, and then you are way off like the track, and then like you people did somewhere, then he will bring you back on track and all of that. I'm not saying KWEKU Smoke is not a better rapper or is not a good rapper, but in terms of cohesiveness, like in the brackets of cohesiveness, amongst these three is Pure Akan, whom I'm going to give it to. And I also realized that Kojo Q is basically in the middle when it comes to Pure Akan. Pure Akan is on the far left, KWEKU Smoke is on the far right, and then Kojo Q is in the middle. Kojo Q is basically like in the middle because he has a little bit of Pure Akan, and he also has like a pinch of KWEKU Smoke, and this makes him extremely relatable, because Kojo Q is the type to tell you that, oh, Charlie, yeah, I'm not the type to laugh at your misfortunes, but that be the only way man they feel this like, take skill pressure, because bro, really and truly, I know I'm shit at something, and I know someone is also shit at something, but I look at them and I'm like, hey, and yeah, media no crampo yet. You see, that type of thing. Kojo Q is, when you listen to him, you're able to relate, like that relatability day to the extreme. Like you listen to For My Brothers, and then you feel like, oh yeah, Kojo Q has actually like lived a couple of your experiences. He doesn't like chastise you for doing certain things. But when you listen to Pure Akan, it feels as though if like I didn't hear bonnet cry, you know, for do you like men your bonnet no, or say oh yeah proper, but Kojo Q will make you understand that like bro, he's going to make you feel like, bro, in between black and white, there are gray lines, and it's cool for you to be in the gray lines. You just need to find your way being either black or being either white. So that is what Kojo Q has. KWEKU Smoke has a pinch of relatability, and I'm going to come there. In terms of relatability, Kojo Q, my pastor, or I can actually sit down with my mom or my dad or my grandparents and then play Kojo Q from start to finish without bleeping certain lines or without even pausing certain songs, because I know for a fact that whatever it is that Kojo is saying, all of those people can relate to it. But then imagine me sitting with my dad or me sitting with my grandma and then playing a record like Guide, and I'm like, now it's white bench, Shumunet half coat, and I'm sitting with my grandma or I'm sitting with my dad, bro. She's gonna look at me some way, or he's gonna look at me some way. You the bob. That is what I mean by relatability, bro. Kofi Dro there, Alabaster Church pastor, he can actually listen to Kojo Q from start to finish, and he was the yardstick in terms of like relatability when it comes to like preachers and all of that. When we're having a conversation yesterday, because he be somebody where he mind inside open, he understands like certain things, he understands what is culture, he understands like what is like current trend, and he also understands like what you are not supposed to do and all of that. So Kofi Dro can actually listen to Pure Akan and understand and relate with him very, very, very well. And he can listen to Kojo Q and be like, yeah, say now or say more yeah, because if you do this and this and this and this, I'm not chastising you entirely, but this be how your life will be and all of that. And in terms of skill, I'm going to give it to KWEKU Smoke. Why am I saying this? Because I actually wrote some notes down. Now, KWEKU Smoke has the elements of like trapping in his rap, right? He has the storytelling bits, and ultimately, KWEKU Smoke, what does it for me is that like there's this edginess to his rap, which people would say that KWEKU Smoke has the elements of surprise in his rap. Bro, you can't listen to KWEKU Smoke without not being surprised, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like on a song like AJ Kum, like it's been a very long time since I even heard the word Nge. Bro, we don't even use Nge anymore, or we don't even we are not even like open about certain things. That is what KWEKU Smoke brings to like, that's this level, like there's his skill level in terms of rap, because he being on the far right, he can relate to Pure Akan, he can relate to KWEKU as well, but he being on the far right as well, and then he having the element of surprise, bro. Sometimes it even bust my. You listen to KWEKU Smoke and you're like, bro, you have a very, very good record like AJ Kum, right? Where you're actually talking about stuff. You listen to AJ Kum, it's beautiful, it's extremely artsy, right? And it feels as though, KWEKU Smoke actually took a page out of Pure Akan's book, right? Then you listen to Online, and then he's talking about 2014 Miji, Control, 2016, Man Go Broke. And I listened to this and I'm like, bro, it has to take a certain like level of skill for you to write a record like AJ Kum, and then for you to come back and then write about Online. But then I realized that his skill level comes to like his skill in terms of his pen comes to him like effortless, because, bro, this guy lives his rap, or this guy has lived his raps. He talks about everything he's lived before. It's not coming from anyone else. And last week I learned that this guy doesn't write. He just like plays the instrumentals, locks in, and then he spews everything that comes in mind. And I thought that was extremely amazing. But amongst these three, within the last decade, they've given us like very, very, very good bodies of work. Well, look at Pure Akan, one of the songs on Onipa Kuma, which happens to be his first album, which is extremely like sweet for me, is Ewufu Som, where this guy was basically taking us through like funeral rites or stuff that they do at funerals when it comes to like the Akan tribe. He started from start to finish, how things are supposed to be done and all of that. And then you come to Nyamemba, he walks you through Shade Natwade, walks you through Mensesan, he walks you through Tuntum, he walks you through Akwesi. Now when you listen to Akwesi, you're even going to feel like, oh, he's talking about his next brother. But no, Akwesi is actually a song that was curated purposely to describe the white man. That is how come we even have the name Kwesi Broni. And I even got the realization that Akwesi, the song was titled Akwesi because of the name Kwesi Broni. And then we come to KWEKU. KWEKU gave us The Shining, and then he also gave us Before We Shine. And then he released Pen and Paper with Shaker, and then he gave us For My Brothers. But even before For My Brothers, I didn't really see KWEKU to be the storytelling like type of rapper. I saw him to be, he be rapper, he did rap. But until he got into the bag of KWEKU actually telling a story for people to really, really relate to him, which was in 2019, if he didn't release For My Brothers, KWEKU wouldn't have been like in this conversation. And then there's KWEKU Smoke. KWEKU Smoke burst into the scene with songs like Enshawa Yedin and all of that. On these streets featuring Kwesi Arthur and all of that. And then like last year he released Old Compound and he released Playman. I don't know how you release two bodies of work at the same time. And then a couple of months after, less than 7 months or 6 months after, you release KWEKU Jesus. And KWEKU Jesus, when you listen to like the messages and then like how he walks you through like the album, you feel as though like, this guy has lived a certain life and is holding everyone's hand who has actually experienced or sort of had a little bit of experience from the life he's lived. He's walking them through the path of, you be hustler, you be this, you be this. You've done this, you've done this. You've been with this girl, you've done this, you've done all of these things. But now, at the end of the day, I was so jiska because one jiska at the end of the day, brand our born na a phone, and then if you die, you're not even supposed, your soul is not supposed to be pissed. That is what KWEKU Smoke brings to his raps, and he being edgy, he having like the elements of surprise, bro. I'm not gonna lie, he be extremely like, it's something that I'm in awe for. Pure Akan ultimately has the cohesiveness. KWEKU has the relatability. He has like the marriage of Pure Akan and then KWEKU Smoke, but KWEKU does it on a very, very corporate level. KWEKU Smoke has that, but KWEKU Smoke does it on a very, very street level. But KWEKU's own, it's in terms of like, it be a little bit corporate in terms of relatability. KWEKU Smoke, he won't be purely street. And in terms of skill, KWEKU Smoke just has it, bro. Like, he takes you on a trip, has an element of surprise, says some shit that is out of pocket, and you're like, bro, how do you say this? And then he brings you back, and then the next line, he's thanking God for something and all of that, bro. It's very, very interesting. But that's my little editorial for today. I wish we could have fleshed this out and made it a whole conversation, but because it be a lot of things we before even break down and then like talk about this. I plan to do an editorial on KWEKU Smoke and how people have sort of gravitated towards his bodies of work and then his music in recent times. But until then, this is Full Access. It's been me. And bro, if your favorite rapper, I didn't mention him being a storyteller and all of that, don't be pissed because they don't make it. This list was actually curated by proper rappers, and they know like what they are saying. So don't just like be in your feelings about anything. So go figure.